Hi everyone, I'm Angie Erving of Wirral Therapy Services for Optimum Holistic Wellbeing Therapies and founder of Wirral Therapy Services Limited, a social enterprise and not-for-profit organisation with a vision of supporting the local Wirral community and the wider community now during the COVID crisis and beyond. We are funded, really fortunately, by the government's Community Lottery Fund. Today I'm bringing to you the fourth in our Aroma-Notion series of bite-sized tutorial videos, and today we are looking at SCOTS pine needle essential oil. I'm really excited to show you this one, so let's dive right in. I'm going to skip over the broad overview and also the research page directing you to where you can find research, because we've covered that in each of the previous videos. Let's take a look at SCOTS pine, the botanical name for which is Pinus sylvestris. The SCOTS pine, or also known as Scotch or forest pine, is an evergreen tree that originates in Northern Europe and North America, and the essential oil is yielded from the aromatic needles of the tree. The SCOTS pine has a reddish-brown, really deeply fissured bark, which is also aromatic, but only the needle oil is used in aromatherapy. And also, this tree is not to be confused with other varieties, such as the Canadian white pine, Southern European dwarf pine, and Austrian Pinus nigrum, or black pine. The method of essential oil extraction for pine needle is steam distillation, and this and its chemical constituents are covered in depth in a professional practitioner's clinical aromatherapist vocational training course. The turpentine of pine trees is widely used commercially in building trades and household products. I'm sure you've probably at some point experienced the aroma of pine in a toilet disinfectant. Historically, Gaius Plinius Secundus, born 23 CE, that's Anno Domini, was the author of the celebrated and first encyclopedia. It was called Naturae Historiae, or Natural History, and he described the recommendation of pine for therapeutic support of the respiratory system. Pliny, as he was known, was a Roman pseudoscientific botanist and scholar, along with being in the military. Unfortunately for him, he died on August the 29th near Mount Vesuvius, overcome by ash while helping the relief effort after its eruption. So he's of that era of time. Hippocrates, the father of medicine, also recommended pine for benefits to the respiratory system. Mrs. Maud Greaves, in more modern times, she was born in 1858 and died 1941. She had a book called Mrs. Greaves' Herbal. She was an English botanist. And Marguerite Maury, 1895 to 1968, of the same era, both recommended the use of pine for diuretic, urinary support and rheumatic and gout conditions of the joints, as well as respiratory support. Marguerite Maury was known as the mother of aromatherapy. She was a high vocational academic degree level nurse and surgical assistant, and also biochemist. She came to aromatherapy through Dr. Chabines, who was the teacher of René Maurice Gattefossé, well known as the father of aromatherapy. He coined the term aromatherapy itself. Gattefossé was the chemist and scholar who discovered the power of essential oils when he burned his hand. He plunged it into lavender oil by mistake instead of cold water, and he found that it healed remarkably well. Let's take a look at the key benefits of pine needle essential oil. Well, first of all, it's antiseptic, antimicrobial and insecticidal. Battaglia recommends pine for respiratory conditions such as influenzas, bronchitis, asthma and laryngitis due to both the antiseptic and expectorant effects, and of course for its refreshingly clearing and nervine effects. Needle is deodorant, cleansing and refreshing, so it's really good for use in deodorant products. It's anti-rheumatic and rubefacient and anti-neuralgic and stimulating to the cardiovascular systems, nervous systems and adrenals. Being both refreshing yet warming, it can assist inflammations of the urinary system, such as cystitis and rheumatism, and have an analgesic effect in nerve pain. Pine can support the mind and spirit, invigorating and promoting feelings of well-being and energy, lifting debility and mental fatigue, and can clear the airspace for meditation and healing. A recent systematic review article provides an overview of research into the therapeutic potential of B-pinene, the key chemical constituent of pine, as well as being found within other oils too. Its most prominent effect being the antiseptic, respiratory supporting, anti-inflammatory, anti-cancer too, and anxiolytic benefits, as well as de-stressing emotionally and being protective against oxidative stress. Though much research assessed was based on rat and mice studies, unfortunately, and very sadly for them. And there are few clinical trials available to date. It also focused on research of the isolated individual chemical constituent of B-pinene, rather than looking at the whole essential oil. Now, the validity of this method in terms of experimental research, I do warn against. And that is also stressed by essential oils educator and medical herbalist Martin Watt, who, like me, theorises against the chemical group science of essential oil study, by which its nature views essential oils not as a whole, but as their individual constituent parts. This is not a very holistic way of researching an holistic health therapy tool, such as an essential oil. This topic will be debated, analysed and evaluated in the Professional Practitioner Vocational Diploma. Nevertheless, anecdotal evidence speaks for itself, and throughout history, and the benefits of pine oil are, and certainly to me, undoubtable. And who does not feel the renewing invigoration to the lungs and the soul of taking a brisk hike amongst the trees in a forest of pine? I mean, it's just out of this world. Forest bathing, incidentally, is something that we will look at elsewhere in the resource section of the Wellbeing Club. Meditation in forests and woods is also really well reputed to be really enhancing of the benefits of the meditation. So, how should we use Scots Pine essential oil at home then? Well, as always, I must give you the note of caution that essential oils should not be used without the advice of a clinical aromatherapist unless within a manufactured pre-blended product and following the manufacturer instructions. Well, we can diffuse or vaporise pine oil either on its own or in a blend with other essential oils to eliminate stale odours and harmful airborne pathogens from indoor environments, such as those that cause colds and the flu. To deodorise and freshen a room with the crisp, fresh and comforting aroma of pine essential oil, add 2 to 3 drops to a diffuser of choice and allow the diffuser to run for no more than 1 hour. This can help to reduce or clear nasal and sinus congestion. There are a wide variety of diffusers and vaporisers on the market these days. Best are the air and water types because the old-fashioned oil burners can degrade the quality of the oil due to the heating. To create a pine oil room spray, simply dilute pine oil in a glass spray bottle filled with 2 parts vodka to 6 parts water and no more than 90 drops of essential oil in an 8-ounce bottle. This will help to purify indoor environments and promote mental alertness, clarity and positivity, and to enhance energy, focus and awareness as well as productivity. Alternatively, you could blend Scots pine with other essential oils that have woody, resinous, herbaceous and citrusy aromas. In particular, pine oil blends really well with the oils of bergamot, which we've covered already, cedarwood, citronella, clary sage, coriander, cypress, peppermint, ravensara, rosemary, sage, sandalwood, spikenard, tea tree and thyme. I mean, that's a big list of oils, so you can play around a little bit at home and see which aromas you enjoy the best. Incidentally, the majority, if not all of those oils that I just mentioned are also very beneficial for respiratory support, for clearing the lungs and the mind, and have antiseptic and immune boosting qualities. For a simple vapor rub blend, dilute 4 drops of pine oil in 30 ml or 1 ounce of petroleum jelly or coconut oil. This is dilute enough for use on sensitive skin and can soothe aching muscles, gout, arthritis and reduce physical inflammation of injuries and congestion, as well as support minor skin ailments by soothing them. Skin conditions such as itching, pimples, eczema, psoriasis, sores. Refreshing, clearing and uplifting, this can help exhaustion and will promote easier breathing and soothe a sore throat when massaged into the neck and throat, chest, upper back and also the soles of the feet, particularly on the balls of the feet. With regard to that, take a look at our Reflexology at Home series, where you can learn a little bit about the different areas of the feet and their corresponding areas in the body. There are some precautions with Scots pine needle essential oil. Always use essential oils with the advice of a clinical aromatherapist and manufacturer's advice. Do be sure to obtain Scots pine rather than any of the other ones. Even the Scots pine can be skin sensitizing, so should only be used in greater dilution on skin or in a bath. Dwarf pine is a dermal irritant, yet whilst Scotch pine is not, oxidization can cause sensitivity on skin contact, and while Scots pine is considered to be non-toxic and non-irritant, all oils really are powerful and can be harmful in high doses. Here are the references that I've referred to throughout the short video clip. Just be aware in regards to evidence, referencing, sourcing and citations that there are pros and cons to the potential of validity and reliability with all modes of findings. Please see the Tisserand Institute's commentary critiquing a systematic review that apparently aimed at critically evaluating the evidence regarding the adverse effects associated with aromatherapy. And this claimed a number of adverse reactions, the reporting of which from studies cited was really poor in systematic review quality. Well, thank you for joining me on today's bite-sized tutorial video clip, today looking at Scots pine needle essential oil. I'm your host, Angie Erving of Wirral Therapy Services and Wirral Training Studio and Wirral Therapy Services Limited.